goodness, it is Friday. We are back live in WildStar. Let me do my tweet real quick before I forget, like last time. Okay. I have like a Twitter post file that I keep all my little bits on, so. There we go. It is tweeted. I have tweeted. All right. Yesterday, gosh, was it yesterday? I think, yeah. Yesterday we snuck in on the PTR. They were doing a focus test for the beginner tutorials, and included in that is the housing tutorial section, kind of to introduce beginner players to the whole housing system. It's really just a superficial kind of tour. Just gives you a I call it a teaser. It's like just a tiny taste. There's really so much more to it than just rotating objects and sizing them and placing them. It's at least for a good portion of us. If you get into the housing and you get into the housing community, you'll soon discover that we go well beyond that kind of stuff, and we're going to be kind of touching on some of that today because we're going to be revisiting the CBDC. For those of you that don't know what that means, CBDC stands for Custom Built Decor Challenge. It's a challenge I've done in the past for my guild for many months, and I put it on hold for a little while due to inactivity. There was a lot of fluctuation in membership and people going off doing other things, real life stuff coming into play, and these kind of things are they're more entertaining if there's more people participating. So when the participation is really low, it's kind of pointless because I feel like, I'm just building myself instead of having others build stuff. So anyway, I've revisited the CBDC. I've revived it, or whatever you want to, rebooted it. It is CBDC 2.0. And rather than just limit it to my guildmates, I am inviting my viewers to participate as well. It's going to be a monthly thing. Hey Bones, good morning. Thanks again for your help with the rock. Bones helped me on I was having some portal teleport thingy covering trouble, and not on this one, on a different plot, and I couldn't get the rocks to work, and Bones was very kind to come and assist me with that. For some reason it just was not working for me. I don't know why. Anyway, rather than just limit it to my guildmates, I've decided to open it up to my viewers. Like I said, it's a monthly thing. Around the first of the month, it's not going to be just the first. It's around the first of the month. I will be doing a CBDC stream kind of like this, and that's when I'll announce the theme for that month. I think we did ours for this month on the 4th or the 6th, somewhere around there. I think it was the 4th. So anyone that is interested in keeping up with this, just look for CBDC in the video title, and that should kind of lead you along as to where we are. This month's theme, of course, is home appliance. I've had several people express confusion as to what that might mean. I tried to just keep it, whenever I do these challenges, I don't want to limit things too much or be too specific about what you can or can't do, because the more limiting or the more restrictive you become, the less likely more people will participate, because a lot of them it's kind of like turning a molehill into a mountain. They feel like it's just too much, too complicated, and I want to leave it more open for interpretation on anything. So when I say home appliance, that could be from like cooking appliances like toasters, coffee machines, ovens, refrigerators, whatever you can think of. Good morning, Poi. Glad you could join us. I hope the chat's working for you today. Or it could be, cleaning, like the vacuum that I made when we first started in on this month's CBDC. It could be an iron, like an iron on an ironing board. Um, it could be a dust buster, for all I know. It's just all kinds of things. I'm even willing to kind of expand it to like maybe yard. That's still part of the house. Like still, if you want to do a lawnmower or something like that. How far you can take that, I don't know. Just if you ask the question to yourself, do you consider this a household appliance, something that assists with some kind of a thing, be it cleaning, cooking, or whatever. It could probably even include like TVs and radios and things. Those to me are still appliances. Um, if it's something to do with the house or the household, if you feel that it fits that category, then your object or whatever that you create should qualify. Um, Now, if we say home appliance and you decide to build an airplane, that probably won't go. So, keep it within the realm of reality as close. I mean, you can give it a WildStar twist. If you want a rocket powered um, vacuum or something, then that's up to you, your interpretation of what it is. But, you know, it really just, you know, I'm trying to leave it, you know, lots of space for people to, play on a lot of different ideas, but I don't want to go too far out. Um, Now, for the CBDC, the idea is to get builders to build new things. I know there's a lot of homeowners that already have um, a lot of their kitchen decked out with dishwashers and refrigerators and stoves and things, and that's fine. If you want to show off what you've done in the past, it's wonderful. But what I'm looking for is people that do something new. If you've already done a stove, maybe approach it again, try it differently, using different objects, because a lot of the reasoning behind the CBDC is to get people to continue to look at things in different ways, try different materials. Um, there's it's like aquariums. We've seen like dozens of aquariums, toilets even. We've seen dozens of different types of toilets, and it's always interesting to see how people combine different types of materials to get the same, or the idea, the general theme is the same, but have such vastly different results. Um, so whether your item is actually new or not, when you tell me, hey, it's on such and such's plot and it's in the back room on the top floor, that's really for you to know. But I'm going to trust that it's something that you've built especially for this competition, not something that's already existing, because there's already lots of nice stuff that's already out there. I'm looking for new stuff. And I'm challenging you to try something new, even if you've already built a microwave. See if you can build another one that's using different materials than the one that you made originally. Um, for those of you that do participate, if you're on Jabit, EU, or Exile, EU, Exile, or Dominion side, doesn't matter what faction, um, let me know the character name for the plot that it's on, maybe even be specific about where it's located and, of course, what it is. And at the end of the month, it won't be the exact last day of the month, but around the end of the month, um, uh, I will be doing another stream, especially for the CBDC, to showcase all of those that have created items for this little challenge. Um, Apologies to the NA players that might decide to get involved as well, because I don't have access to NA. I'm lazy and stubborn and just haven't done it, gotten around to it, if ever I do that. But it's open for anyone that wants to participate, but I won't be able to showcase those that are on NA side. My suggestion for those of you that are on NA side that want to show off what you make for this, there is a custom built decor showcase thread in the forums. That's a good place to do it. You can start your own thread and just, title it, this is for the monthly CBDC from Carrot or whatever if you want. Um, you can tweet the pictures and, link it to me so that I can retweet it for you. Um, you can PM me the images if you don't want to do it yourself, and I'll post them. There's lots of ways to get the word out. I just don't have video access to NA side, unfortunately. But I still, whether you show it off or not, I encourage you to give it a try because I promise a lot of the upcoming challenges won't be as general as the one I've listed for this month. I kind of wanted to start us off kind of, slow and easy. Um, if you put it on the PTR, that is another option. It's just that I can't rely or promise that the PTR will still be up at the time that I go to showcase. If it happens to be up and you have your plot on there and the item is there for me to get to, I could probably do a separate stream just for those. But again, it's unreliable because Carbine is known for taking the PTR down periodically after they're done with whatever testing they're doing. So that's not a 100% assured path to it, but I will definitely go out of my way to make another stream just for those if it is up and that's how you guys want to do it. Well, the Katia builder, that's kind of iffy as well because I do think there is a limit to how many items can be sent over. If you could keep it within, say, a couple of hundred, that might work. Then I could maybe set up an alt. The trouble with that is, though, or the possible troubles with it, is if you use items that aren't easily accessible, like maybe it's a really rare item that you use in your build, and like say an alt of mine doesn't have access to that or doesn't have it, that might be troublesome. But if you can keep it to things that are just on the housing vendor, that's completely doable. I'm willing to spend the extra funds to get that showing off. Um, that can be worked out. I'm very flexible on that, so I appreciate you asking. And yeah, definitely, the more people that get involved, the better. And of course, I want to showcase as many as I can. And maybe because of this, if there's really a big push of NA players that want to be included in the showcasing, maybe that will spur me into actually setting up an NA character so that I can do some NA showcases as well. No promises, but it really depends on the participation level. If it's just going to be a couple of you, then I don't know if that would be something I want to delve into right away, but we'll see. But yeah, whatever you think would be most convenient for you and I can find a way to make it happen, I certainly will do that. I won't be able to do it on my main spot because she's already kind of pushing the limits here. I keep tinkering with hers and adding things of my own, and it's really not the ideal place to show off little things. But I can certainly set up an alt to do that. Yeah, Zodi, I thought that was you because I've been retweeting some of yours. I don't want to retweet every single one because I don't want to really spam my followers, but um, yeah, there was some really nice stuff on there. Anyway, welcome to everybody on the chat. So yeah, CBDC again, it's going to be a monthly thing. The theme will be different every month. You're welcome to make suggestions for themes that you'd like to see attempted in future challenges. I've already gotten a few people to submit some of those. Again, there's no prizes involved. There's no judging, no no reward other than maybe the personal reward you get for actually completing the challenge. Maybe it's something that you don't normally build, like say we have a vehicle challenge. Maybe vehicles aren't your thing. I know that's not my thing, but if you're able to put something together, then you might rethink about messing around with that kind of stuff and discover that you have a knack for it, or just sometimes you're going to go out of your comfort zone, and that's really what this is for. It's also just to kind of break the monotony. A lot of people are working on their projects on various plots, and they kind of get stuck. Some people call it builder's block, some call it plotter's block. It's just kind of gets stale, or maybe you raid a lot or whatever, and you just need something to kind of break you out of the day to day. This is a fun way to do that. And again, you get most of the month, so there's no excuse as to time limitations. If you only play on the weekend, you still can do it. There's a lot of people that will probably, spit it out within 30 minutes or something, but others may take a little while because they have to think about, well, okay, what am I going to build? What pieces am I going to use? Do I have to need to, collect the pieces, that kind of stuff. So, anyway, this is going to be my attempt at another item that I think might fit. Maybe it will give you guys some additional ideas. Like I said, we've already worked on the vacuum, and of course, those of you that were with me when I was working on it originally will know that I started out with it having one type of body, and I ended up just going simpler. I decided to fewer pieces were better. So I really like the look of the little like beetle thing. I just like the shape of it, and so I stuck with the Ichthyon little doohickey here rather than the airtight container bits that we had. But the next one we're going to try, and I'm just going to throw it here in this kitchen area again, is I'm going to try and make a fan. I call it a box fan. I don't know what it might be called over here, but yeah, boy, sometimes you just need a change of scenery or something. I know there's several builders that they have multiple alts that they'll tinker on one and then they'll move to a different one and then they'll switch back. And I do that sometimes. Um, it's just kind of what works for you. Some have to take a complete, you know, total break from housing just to kind of clear their brain. Yeah, well, at first I thought it needed to have wheels, but I figured maybe it's like a little walkie, like a little robotic one where you don't have to drag it across the room. It just follows you around, something like that. Anyway, box fan. So something I did um, uh, go and get a hold of was, see if I put it in there. Yeah, I went and got a hold of these Osen floor grates, and that comes in really huge apparently. How big that thing is. Now these are available in the new zone, Arcterra. I forget what reputation level. I think it's popular. I'm not really sure on that. I don't think it was too high. It was like, I think the second one, popular. It costs 10 Soul Frost, but it is not soulbound. It is bind on, use. So that means that even though maybe you don't have access to Arcterra right now, you could invariably find it on the AH. I don't know what the prices are on there, but it's a relatively cheap item to get a hold of. You could probably ask a friend to get it for you if you don't have access. Um, So this is a pretty nifty looking thing. It's where maybe you can make your own fences rather than having the chain link fences. You could go with this like little chicken wire looking thing. It is paper thin. See if I can lift it up here. Paper thin, so if you look at it from the side, bits of it are practically invisible just because of how they've made it. But the front, it looks really nice. And for a box fan, I think it will do really well. I've never used this before, so I don't know what it's going to do as far as like how it looks from a distance, if it disappears at that size. We're going to start big and we'll reduce it down later. It still shows up pretty good, but that's still a little big. Yeah, populars for some of it. I think there's a few pieces that are higher than that, and of course, like the fab kit that you can get from there is pretty far up, I think. But yeah, if you want bones, if you need, well, depending on where you're going to want it. If you want it on like a Lauren's plot, I could get a hold of them for you. Like I said, it's really cheap. It's only 10 soul frost, and I've got like over 2,000 right now, so I've got plenty. um, but yeah, definitely. If you're aiming for getting a hold of some of this new decor, like I said, a lot of it is not all snowy and ice related. There are some actual interesting little bits that you can get a hold of that you could probably use for a lot of things. This would be great for like a lattice for like roses or something if you want to add some flowers. A nice thing for a room separator if you want just a little decoration rather than using the glass panels all the time for that kind of crisscrossing. It'd be good for vents or something, make your own cages. There's all sorts of things you could do with this. Anywho, so yeah, fan. We're making a fan. So I grabbed two of these because I figured they would be good for, you know, a fan usually has like that little grill or grate on the front and back. Again, I'm making a box fan. If it was around, I'd probably make a real, you know, a small little round oscillating fan kind of thing, but we're just going to make a regular one. Um, let's see. I've already used Cassian for the fridge. Let's see what else we've got. Don't want to use Orin because that's the wall. So maybe let's try the Draken version. Let's get a half curved wall. And then a Draken floor. Thank goodness these have the same texture. You go for a granite wall and a granite floor, they're not the same, which I don't understand that, but whoever set these up wasn't thinking really well. Yeah, a lot of the daily logins are flasky. I don't know exactly. I'm pretty sure there's some experience one. I know they got some challenger ones and reputation ones. Anywho, let's see. I'm going to shrink this down. Let's see. How do I want to do this? I'm awful at this, like figuring out how I want to box this in, but I have an idea. It's just getting myself to situate it right. Oh, does the floor have two sides? I never actually noticed. just assumed it was the same as all the others. Let's see. Make sure this is nice and square. Again, you can turn it later if you want, but when you first start building something, it really does help if you kind of keep it all square, so you're not having to try and figure out weird angles and stuff. Now I know this one little corner piece is going to be sticking out, but we're going to just ignore that for now. Again, I'm eyeballing things. I'm not really taking any kind of measurements or whatever. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it's quite exactly the same. Let me see. We have the granite, uh, granite floor. Put this down here. I love this pattern that it has, but it's just so, it doesn't match anything else. It bothers me. Granite. Looking for something that you're talking about. It looks like that. This almost looks like a toned down Chua wall because it doesn't have those little such stark bits. And you say if I flip it, I don't know. Yeah, to me it looks more orange. It's really light. Well, that's good to know because I know a few people that has been fussing about that, and we probably just didn't even think about changing it. The pattern looks a little different though. Like right here where they got the joining. This looks more defined than it does here. I can kind of see where it resembles, but one doesn't look the same color as the other. Isn't that weird? I think I've seen somebody use this as roofing once. Kind of looks like tiles a little bit. So I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that it might have just been a quick fix or something. I don't know. It makes you wonder who's actually doing the housing stuff because it doesn't quite look like you would expect. It never turns in the right way, so let's turn that ourselves. You just size it up because of course the same size doesn't match. Let's see. 15, that should work, shouldn't it? Again, I'm just eyeballing. This is like a quick and dirty build. Don't hate me for it. Those of you that are more into being a lot more accurate, just look away because this is not going to be anything close. Why is that like not the same? What, 16 maybe? Can't get it exactly to measure up. It's close enough for me. Something like that. If you hear some really weird noise, my neighbors are apparently decided that today is the day to do yard work, and I hear a lot of lawnmowers and stuff, so. Like, they got one of those electric things that you trim the hedges with, and there's a part across the street, it's just all hedges, and they just go nuts with that stuff. Okay, so now we need the one this way. Now I'm already seeing how this isn't going to match up exactly on the size, so I'm going to have to fudge a little bit. I'm going to overlap this one here somewhere. Like so. And if we notice any kind of flashing, we'll just change the distance of the one or the other. I think it'll be all right though. Doesn't seem to be doing it too weird. Yeah, a lot of people use Katia for that. I use Laments. For my copying, that's what this is. This is Laments. I think it's called the Toolbox Pro or something. It's like an extension of Laments' original add-on, which was the Housing Set Decor Manager or something. And then they came up with this little side one, and that's the one I use for most of my copying. It's just more convenient for me because I do so much of it, and I'm not really looking, again, I'm not really being accurate. So just for quickness, it automatically pops up when I select an item. So rather than having to type in Katia and having this big add-on on the side, I just use Laments. It really is just whatever is your preference. That's why when everybody's always, oh, Katia's, I always like to mention Laments because for some, they might find it more user-friendly. It just depends. Okay. Again, just eyeballing. For those of you that are more into wanting a lot more accuracy, obviously you would, pay a little bit more attention, but we're just kind of winging it here. Again, I could probably copy this little slide and do both pieces at once, but sometimes I just get tired of making a new set. Especially for me, I have like tons of sets that I manage, and I've actually had to pull some of them off of my characters and actually just start saving them in little Word files because I have so many. And to just do a simple little two-piece set is often not very convenient for me, so I just stick to the old manual bit. Again, build how you are comfortable building. Don't necessarily use my habits or techniques, or I don't even really think I have a technique. But yeah, if you're looking for the other add-on on the Twitch channel page, you'll see a resources section. I have links to all of the things that I use here, not just the add-ons, but a lot of the sites that I visit, like Living in WildStar. Granted, that site and many others aren't exactly up to date or very robust or as robust as we'd like, but I still use them quite a bit. In fact, I was looking at Living in WildStar this morning, just browsing around for ideas. Katia's has the decor shopper in-game, but when you're not in-game, that's not very convenient. So it's nice to have an off-site, off out-of-game place to go look. But yeah, for just like some of the really the starter kind of items, like a lot of the things that have been around for ages, that site has all of them listed and little snapshots of them. So I still find it helpful. And when it goes down, I usually bug the creator saying, hey, your site's gone wonky again. Please fix. Let's see. Wait, wait, 09? Is it 09? Gosh. Don't like the size is still bugging me. Let's see. No, it still doesn't work. So we'll just leave it, ignore the goofiness of the size. I'm gonna adjust it a little bit so it's a little in between. See how I'm fudging? I do that a lot. That's why a lot of my buildings are a little off, or I'll like have things a little crooked because. So for those of you that are really into perfection, if I see something out of line, that jars me more, I think, than if you just kind of fudged it a little bit in several places, and I'd probably forgive you because I know the troubles that some of these items have in getting them just the way you want. Okay, so now we're gonna slip in the back one. Probably not a really good idea to go ahead and put the back one in right now, so I'm gonna change my mind on that. I guess we should put the innards in first. Innards, blades. We need to have fan blades. Some of the more popular ones, you could, of course, if you have the windmill blade, which I don't think I have a spare one. I actually used it for, I think, a toy airplane here in one of the shops. It actually moves. It's an animated decor item. It's great for like ceiling fans, if you want to build your own windmill, little toy planes like I made. Um, uh, if you're like doing some kind of a generator thing, or making some kind of, I don't know, a booby trap for your Indiana Jones temple, and you need some knives rotating out, the blade is great for that. It's not necessarily easy for everybody to get a hold of, so um, I think it's somewhat expensive. uh, I honestly don't know where it comes from. I want to say it's a world drop, but I'm not sure. I think the few that I've gotten a hold of, I've always just bought them off the auction house. And of course, I'm a stingy spender, so it was cheap for me, but I know that's not the case for most, because I have the patience to wait until I get a hold of something really, really cheap. Um, Another handy one that I've used for stationary blades is like using the swords, like the uh, the Draken swords that you can get straight off of the vendor. Those work all right. They're tapered, so that helps. Um, just depends on it, if you want one a little longer. I've used this one. I think I used that one in particular on the little windmill that I had on my uh, Proto Pet Park golf course thing. So, there are other alternatives. And we may end up using one of the swords for ours here today. But I'm going to try to see if I can get something else to work. I don't know if it's going to look right, especially since I'm using the Draken coloring. It might look a little off, but we're going to see. I was thinking maybe we could use spoons as like, because I wanted like some rounded blades. The swords are fine, but they're pointed, and I don't know if I really want to go with that. And the spoon has that like little shovel looking head to it. Now I know we have a new spade that you could probably try, but it's got a really long handle, and I don't think that will be easily usable. And I think the spoon might be a little bit easier to hide the bits that I don't want showing. Um, Oh, does it come from King Plush? Well, that might be why I never get a hold of it because I think I've only done that boss like twice, I think. So yeah, probably your best bet is to hunt for it on the auction house and just pray that, they're not asking an arm and a leg for it. Of course, I don't know. So many people seem to think that plat just falls out of trees, so maybe they can afford it if it's a few plat. But myself, I prefer to, if I can get it for like some copper, that would be awesome. But anyway, so I'm going to attempt to use spoons. I'm also going to try a table. Yeah, I always check to see if I've got it first, which I don't, because if I can avoid buying it, better. But I'm also going to try a table because it's curved as well. You could probably use benches maybe, but the problem with benches is they light up because they're interactable, and I prefer not to use those kind of things if I can avoid it. Oh, like the fireplace poker and stuff like that. That I haven't really looked at the handle, but does the back of it still go invisible? Because on the PTR when we had the spade looking at it and I turned it around, the middle of it goes the little shovel part. It actually goes uh, like empty. It turns into like a little giant fork or something. But yeah, cheap is if you can be patient, if you have a bill that you're really trying to finish up and it has to be done at a certain time for whatever reason, maybe you're in a competition or something, then you're more likely to spend a little more than you normally would. But I kind of avoid that stuff, so I wait till it's like the massive umbrella trees. They've been going for like as high as 50 plat at some point. Then they kind of leveraged out about 4 to 7. I got mine at like, I think one of them was 5 gold and another one was like 10 or 15. So I got off really easy on that. Does it still have the gap? That's just weird. But see, I think that's just, I don't know if the person that's creating them doesn't actually turn it around and look at what it looks like, because you would think they would fix that. But anyway. Okay, so of course we need some kind of a centerpiece for the little front. And that'll be like what the engine part is connected to. And I'm gonna go simple again. Since I have some extras, I'm just gonna go with the Chewa cup. Now I know there's some kind of a way that you can use Katya's tool um, add-on to find the exact center of an item and get another item to sit in the exact center. But again, I am one of those that doesn't do that. I just eyeball it until I'm happy with it. So I'm going to enlarge the cup to where it's not quite poking out the back. And then I'm going to put that kind of in the middle. I'm going to eyeball it again. I'm really horrible with that. So you have this little front part, and then you'd have the engine part in the back. Now what I'll probably do is cover that with like a plate or something just to kind of box it in. Or maybe leave it open and put some little engine parts or something in there if you want. It's up to you. I'm gonna make sure that's nice and square. See how that looks now. That's pretty close. Looks good to me. Yeah, the teleport pad. Talk to Bones if you're having trouble with the rocks. Bones had to help me with mine because I couldn't get it to work. I tried all the coordinates the same that Bones said, in the order that was done, and it works for them, but not for me. I don't know. Yeah, but so see that becomes a little too brainy for me. I honestly, I'm horrible at that stuff. You can ask Adelon. He's all the time trying to get me to do these little fancy patterns and stuff, and talks about, oh, you just rotate 45 and 65 and 185 and 35 and do this and this, and he memorizes all this stuff, and I'm like, what? I was like, you got to keep it simple. So eyeballing it for me is like the simplest way. Yes, mine become a little eh, tricky, but I don't know. I prefer it just to keep it. I don't want to get too complicated for myself. And starting to remember the XYZ. I mean, you'll watch if you're watching me, you'll see that I have trouble remembering even what XYZ is as far as the colors. I'm awful. Like I said, be inspired by what I show here and maybe what I work on, but don't mimic me because my stuff is awful. Awful, awful. See, I wasn't even sure if that would work out right. So now I'm turning it and I'm eyeballing it first, and then what I'll do is I'll pick an angle that kind of feels at the angle that I'm aiming for. I think 30 is better. Or maybe it's 25. See, I can't even make up my own mind. I want it to be like around, okay, so that's 50. All right. We'll see how this looks. I may change it and use something else. I don't know if the spoons will look normal or not. I know the blades sometimes they're a little twisted or something, and oh, I don't know which way the curve would go. Is it from front to back or back to front? Or I know there's some kind of probably like dynamic, aerodynamic stuff going in it, but I have no idea. So yeah, anything I make, folks, that's just me being goofy. Even this doesn't look right to me. I don't know. I think it might too be the size of the cup is like throwing me off a little bit. And like then you're thinking, okay, how many blades do I like put in like one north and south and east and west and then like a clock face, but I don't think you want that many. I don't know. Maybe I should do it. Because I don't even think the rotating of the spoon is on the right thingy. Seems wrong. You said 45? I'm going to trust you on that. Because I sure don't know what I'm supposed to put it at. So I guess this would be minus 45. Okay. Now what's the other one on the other side? See, that's where I get confused. Whoops. Gotta copy that. Ugh, 135. See, I wouldn't know that. I would just eyeball it and hope that I get it right. Well, see, now it says 45 again. See, I don't understand how that works. Why is it sometimes it's like the bigger number? So I didn't use the one something. And that's probably why I get confused, because I'm sure it has something to do with how you place the item to begin with and what direction you turn it, maybe. I don't know. Ooh. So that's just so weird. And yeah, it probably looks like really tiny blades for this big old contraption. Trust me, I'm gonna make them a little bigger, I think. Not the spoons themselves, but you'll see what I mean here in a minute. Kinda, sorta. These look like they need to go up. Whoops. See, that's why I didn't put the back on, because I knew I was gonna need to move these, and that wasn't going to cooperate. Okay, you get the general idea. So I want mine to be a little bit longer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna copy that and I'm gonna change it to object moving so that I can just kind of extend it a little bit and do it like that. I think that'll work all right. I could probably go for like a 3-step, you know me, I like odd numbers, but again, I'm just eyeballing. But I love using items directly off the housing vendor. While I am using the grate, which you do have to kind of get a hold of in a different way, um, I prefer to get my items off of the vendor because I know a lot of people just don't have access to the other stuff, or they don't know to look on the auction house because one, they probably don't know what it's called. That's why I definitely recommend some of those sites because I think we have the listing for the um, reloaded decor, the ones that we used to get from like only from challenges. Now you can get those from reputation vendors. A lot of people still don't realize that. I want to. I'm not sure about that, Poi. It might just start at the reset, which is at noon, I think, my time. I don't know what it is for you, but I don't know the hours specifically. It could be this evening, 2 a.m. PDT. What the heck is 2 a.m. PT? 4 a.m. I think is 7 our time, so that's I guess 5 o'clock in the afternoon for EU. Is that right? Let me look. Where's my world buddy? Was that AM? 2 a.m. PDT. World time buddy to the rescue. I hate time zones. So bad. 2 a.m. Where is 2 a.m.? That's 11. That's 11 for us. So in like half an hour, I guess. So it's pretty close to reset time, something like that. So yeah, fun. Hawaii, never been there. I have some relatives that visited once, but that was about it. Okay, so I need to put something in the engine part. I can't just flip make a copy of the cup and flip it over because then the front will be too fat. So I need something that will block this backing part. So I will probably just use either let's try a bowl maybe, a bowl, not the fruit bowl, it's the regular bowl, which is basically the fruit bowl, but it's empty. Let's um, let's try that. I think it's got the same little shape, so that should be good. Maybe not at that size, but I love this bowl. This bowl is fun. Uh, I've used it for turtle shell or a past CBDC. Look how smooth that fits in there. Like it was made for each other. This is a match made. Isn't it cute? Okay, and then I guess we can add in the other grate on the back. People are going, why are you going through so much trouble to make this fan when you could just get like the what is it, the air conditioner or something? And it's got a fan that actually moves. There you go, there's your box fan. But that's not the point of the CBDC. The CBDC is to kind of, you know, go beyond that. Okay, so what are we missing? A little button at the top. Let's just, we're gonna be goofy and cheap and it's probably gonna be, you know, poking out the bottom of this, so you'll see it here, but we'll pretend that's not a big deal. Now you have a little on and off switch. You could do the same thing that we did with the vacuum, add some hanging wires to make it look like it's got a plug-in kind of thing, that kind of deal. I don't know if I'm actually going to bother with resizing it or whatever. Now, what I was going to do with the table, if the spoons didn't work out like I wanted, I was just going to like take 2 tables and sandwich them foot to foot, and just might make a double blade and then have that as so that it looked the same from both sides. And so that would have been like 6 pieces or 8 pieces all around. I can't count. But so that's an option if you want to try it that way. But I think we'll leave it like this. The problem is, let me pull this out real quick like. Let's link it all to, what are we going to link it to? We'll link it to the switch, I guess. Because I don't want it floating just here in the middle of nowhere. Now, there is a feature on Katya's and Lament's add-ons where you can actually, like, say I want to link everything within this area, like a, what do you call it, a radius. Pardon me for a minute. Woof. Just 1 minute. Woof. I think my face turned all red. Pardon me. I got a drink, but it's not really helping. Excuse me, goodness. Maybe I swallowed a dust particle, I don't know. Let me just quietly link this stuff up. I'll explain in a minute. Excuse me. So sorry. Whoops. Oh dear. What did I just do there? I think that is my clue that we'll have to be wrapping this up soon. Whew. Okay, got it a little bit more under control. What I was trying to say was that Laments and Katya's both um, has a function where you can say everything within this radius I want linked to this parent object. And it works nicely if there's really not a lot of stuff around. But like in this little area, it's liable to pick up the floor and a couple other things I probably don't want in it. And rather than risk messing something up by trying to fix that, I just prefer linking things individually myself. Oh my gosh. My sincerest apologies. Probably hurting everybody's ears. But I don't know. I think like a cootie ball or something just went right into my throat, and it just suddenly it was like just major tickle. I've been coughing off and on as it is because I'm still coming off of that flu stuff that we had a week or so ago. In fact, my son is still coming off of it as well too. Okay, so is that all of this? Let's see. I'm missing this piece here. Okay, and let's put this back in. But yeah, for those of you that remember last time, I got a hold of a coffin. I think I kept it for like a month. And it always scares me when something like this happens up because I'm afraid it's going to stay. And it's like, no, I go on to a big fret and worry about it. But I think it was just, I don't know, maybe some spit went down the wrong hole. I have no idea what happened, but I'm better. It's just, it almost brought me to tears. I was coughing so hard, couldn't catch my breath. Okay, so now we have this little, whoop, no, we don't have it all. Just the one piece here. Let's double check that again. Well, for crying out loud. We're just going to put it on the counter and call it good. And then I think we're going to call it a day before I end up completely choking on the stream. But again, it's just to kind of give you guys an idea of some other things you can make. It doesn't have to be kitchen related or whatever. But yeah, I think I'm going to go. That's my cue that I need to be getting out of here. Thank you guys for joining. Again, appreciate all the follows, the tweets, the retweets, the votes. And hopefully you enjoyed this little tinkering around with the CBDC stuff. And of course, please, if you can manage it, can come up with some ideas for yourself, participate. Like I said, the NAers, I don't have actual character access there yet, but as Zodi suggested, there are probably other alternatives. Either you can post it yourself, give me the images so that I can post them, or maybe we can work out some kind of a way to use Katya's KBT features to be able to allow me to rebuild whatever you've put together on my alts plot or something. I'm more than happy to work with you guys on that if you're really adamant about trying to get in on the showcase. Um, just contact me on the forums, via Twitch, via Twitter, whatever's convenient for you, and we'll work out the details on that. Just be aware, I don't know the exact day for this final CBDC stream that I'll be doing in the end of the month. So if you do have plans of getting something like that together and want me to kind of work out with it with you, don't wait till the last day of the month because it just might not work. Putting it on the PTR is another option, but again, like I say, I can't promise that the PTR will be available because Carbine does periodically close that down. So it's not a guarantee that it will be available. If it is, I'm more than happy to go that route, but it's just not something I would, be reliant on. Yeah, I'm gonna go make myself some hot tea and just relax. But anyway, thank you guys for bearing with me. Having a nice little choking session on the stream. Hopefully that doesn't happen next week. But just a final reminder, we do have the 50th anniversary coming up, not next week, but the week after. And I'm still looking for more suggestions from you guys as to what retours you would like to see happen. Basically, the main requirement is that we have toured it in the past. It still exists so that we can retour it, which means it needs to be open to the public. And if it fits all of those and we have room for it, I will include it in that special 50th episode stream. I would like to say I got a notice this morning from Carbine. It was actually from FedEx that apparently Carbine has followed through and is actually sending me some physical goodies that I will be able to give out as some of the prizes for some of our viewers on that special occasion. I have no idea what it is. It says it's like 10 pounds, so whatever they can fit in a 10-pound amount for a box, that's on the way. It's due to arrive Monday, so maybe we can do a little unveiling of some of the goodies that will be available. The only stipulation is these physical prizes, whether they're, I have no idea what it could be a plushie, it could be a t-shirt, it could be some of those, it could be one of these. If I can not break this, try to pull it off. Oh gosh, it could be a lanyard, so one of those things that like you have a keychain kind of thing. It could be one of those. It could be, who knows what, maybe it's bumper stickers for all I know, 10 pounds worth of bumper stickers. But whatever it is, I will share with you what it is. And hopefully it's some good stuff. But the biggest stipulation is I will only be sending those out to fellow EU players, simply due to the cost of shipping off all of these individual items. It will just get way too expensive if I try to send it to NA players. So unfortunately, I won't be able to offer that to NA players, but certainly to you EU buddies out there, we'll have a chance at some actual physical WildStar swag. So I'm really excited about that. It's going to be, I kind of pestered them about trying to get some goodies in the past and without success. But thankfully, they've made good on this one, and I'm really delighted about that because I really wanted to make this 50th episode um, uh, a, a big celebration. I really wanted to give an opportunity for those that have stuck with me through this, year long of stuff, of me just babbling and choking on and sneezing and coughing and whatever else. Um, to give them a chance to have some nice goodies. So in addition to the physical goodies, that again will only be limited to EU players, we will be having lots of item codes, which will include costume pieces and decor items. Because I was specifically looking for a lot of decor things that I could be passing out. Um, Flower has generously donated 2 piano sets that I can give away multiple times if I want. Um, I think I'm going to be giving away some of my painting sets, and possibly there's another person that will be giving me some furniture sets that they've created. I haven't really touched base on that with them recently because they've been so busy, but if I can get a hold of that for sure, we will include that. But so yeah, it's going to be hopefully a really fun time, and of course, I want to give as much opportunity for people to at least walk away with a little something. I can't guarantee everybody's going to get something. Um, there may be some that get multiple things. I don't know, but we'll try and keep it as fair as possible. Um, but yeah, that will be on the 20th of April. So if nothing else, if you don't want to come to any other show, try and make it to that one because you may actually just walk away with something fun. Primera Fab Kits. Hey, anything you feel like you want to donate towards it, that's fine with me. Again, when it comes to actual in-game items like that, it would be even more restrictive because if it's on a exile character, obviously you can't necessarily trade it off to a Dominion character. Um, that's one of the things I like about the set codes and the item codes that I got from Carbon already. Those should be eligible for anybody, um, regardless of what faction and even what region. But yeah, sure. If you want to donate some things, that's uh, completely acceptable. Uh, but I'll just have to say, well, this is only for this person, or it's only for Exile side on EU and that kind of thing. I want to try and keep it as expansive as possible. It's unfortunate that I can't afford um, sending prize packages to actual NA players, but again, I think most people will understand that the mailing costs are just outrageous when it comes to mailing to the US. Like when we send my parents, I send them a little package every year, usually around Christmas time. The cost to send the items usually costs more than the worth of the actual items inside. I know that sounds horrible, but that's usually what it ends up being because we usually give them like cookies and chocolates and things that they don't get over there, or it's just they have really poor quality over there. And being in Belgium, chocolate and cookies and sweet stuff and everything, that's what we send them as their little gift package, among other things. And the cost to send it is just like crazy amount. Even if you go like the cheapest and all that stuff, it's just ridiculous. So yeah, while I would love to be able to provide physical swag for folks in NA, that's just not feasible for me right now. All right, Bones, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, I don't know why though. But I'm sure it's probably just the same way, them sending our way. Which, I even offered to pay for the shipping for Carbine if they would send us some stuff, but they were very generous and yeah, I don't know if I actually mentioned that in the thread because at the time I wasn't confident that I was going to be getting any of that kind of stuff. Um, from Carbine in, at all. But now that it's actually on the way, I guess I think I will probably just mention it as the stream is going. When I offer it up for a price, I will clearly state that this is just for EU players. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles on that bit. But anyway, while I am feeling better, I'm not going to test fate much longer. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. But again, CBDC is ongoing. It will be until sometime around the end of the month. As it gets closer and I have a feel for when I'm going to do the showcase stream, I'll let you guys know so that you can know when you need to get all your stuff, all your ducks in a row or whatever. We've got the 50th anniversary on, 50th episode anniversary kind of thing on the 20th of this month. And I think that's really it. So yeah, thanks guys for joining. Hope to see you next week, and have a great weekend. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.